Basically, in this video, you will see whether we can save or if we have to scrap one of the van's side door. There's a lot of banging, and I mean a lot. I'm not a panel beater, so I don't know how to do this like a body shop, so please don't come after me. Today's job is to get it hopefully functioning again. I also forgot to charge the mic after last week, so I'm having to voice over. So please sit back, grab a drink, and enjoy our struggles. As you can see, this door's been damaged pretty badly. It's been whacked with a pallet and a forklift, causing the door to bend right at the bottom. As you'll see in these photos just coming up, the door will no longer close and is pushed right in at the bottom, meaning it won't latch. So we've got to try and get this back functional so it will close again. Yes, this is me, and now you will see me start to strip the door down once I grab the tools I need, which you would have thought, as always in these videos, I'd have been more prepared. However, I wasn't. So, got my gun, and now I'll start by removing the top door contacts as well as the bottom door guide. Here you see the plug fighting me, because unfortunately the clip to remove the plug was on the wrong side, so I had to grab a screwdriver just to assist. I've removed all the bolts from the guide. I can remove it, and as you can see it fights me a little bit, but it came out. Here you start to see me caress the door while I'm feeling the damage to see what I'm working with and have to knock out. This is a little close up just to show you the extent of the damage that we've got to try and remove today to get this door functioning again. This is the part where all the loud banging starts whilst I try and knock as much of this dent out as possible. I unfortunately had to cut this part of the clip whilst I went and got my safety glasses, because my normal glasses kept just sliding off my face. Unfortunately, my trusty bit of wood decided to snap in half, which made my problem a bit more difficult. I do sometimes wonder who thought it was a good idea to let me loose with a big hammer. And that's not even the biggest hammer I have, but it's the biggest club hammer I have. In this part you see me trying to remove the crease from the edge of the door now that I have finished trying to work the inside of the door where the contacts and the guide originally sat. In this part we were hoping that after I'd knocked all of the crease out that the door would close. However, it was soon then that we realised that the door had been bent in so much at that front bottom corner that the top was sitting out so far that it wouldn't latch. This is where we decided that this was going to be more difficult than we originally expected. I must admit, after we finished this clip, I sat on this inside step of the van for a good few minutes trying to work out how the hell we were going to get this functioning again. Which is when I got the brilliant light bulb moment that you see next. I had been explaining to Dana about the bottom of the door being pushed in and the fact we could do with a porta power to push the bottom of the door out to straighten it up. However, I do not have one. Which is when the moment hits me of using the trolley jack, as you see now. What we were trying to achieve with the trolley jack in this moment of time was to just manipulate and gently bend the bottom of the door back in line with the rest of the door. We did not know whether in this moment of time it was going to work or whether we were just fighting a losing battle. No, it's just that bottom bit here is obviously jamming.
Yeah.
Jamming, man. Now just need pumping up a little bit.
Yeah.
Loosening that bracket. Lifting the door up so it's perfect. Bolting the bracket back on and trying again. As you can see, me and Dana were just discussing what part of the door was still catching and how to adjust it in hopes to make it glide and close even easier. In this part I'm just using the trolley jack to gently lift the door for support whilst we undo the bottom bracket for the runner. I soon came to notice that because this door had been bent so much that the bolts became difficult to remove because of the possibility that they could also be bent, so they were a bit of a struggle to get back out.
That's a really attractive angle.
They might be bent.
Oh.
Oh. This one was so tight I was scared of rounding it because the inside part is only a T40 Torx. So I decided to then go and get a 13mm socket in hope that I didn't round the bolt. A lot of you are probably wondering at this point why we didn't just use the microphone on the camera. I must admit, I didn't actually know how good it was going to be, so I didn't want to chance it. So I do apologise for doing this voiceover type of video. It's never one I've done before, as you will know, so I'm not sure if it's one I'll do again, because the quality of the mic recording on the phone and not the camera doesn't seem to be its best. As you saw, I gently lifted the trolley jack up with my foot just to raise the door ever so slightly, and now I am tightening it back down in hope that that is enough of adjustment on the door to make it perfect.
You think you've done the wrong one?
Sorted!
As you can tell, we were both pretty excited and happy with the door now closed. I'm just saying about the fact that it's a shame that I couldn't get all the dents and creases out, but it's looking 10 times better than it did, and we can actually close it now, which again is 10 times better than it was. So now I've just got to put all of the innards back on the door in hope that they actually go back in because of how much the door has been gently manoeuvred and bent back in shape. This video has been very raw, without much editing, so I hope you have stuck along this long and enjoyed this journey with this door. Here you can see where I've realised that that bit of metal inside the door is protruding too far that I now cannot fit the guide or the sensor for the door back in. So I'm gently trying to manoeuvre it out of the way so I can fit these bits in so I can get the door back to its originality.
We did just get a nice shot of your
Again, you can see me trying to manipulate more and more parts in this door to try and get things to fit back to how they were.
I'm going to try.
Well, sort of in there.
I've closed it. if I could definitely.
Prong's pointing inwards, isn't it? Prong's pointing in.
In this part I'm now trying to remember which way round the contact's sat, and you also get to see me having a fight with now getting this fitted back in, the same as I did with the guide down the bottom.
Is it the front bit there or the back?
It's this bit inside. That whole bit here.
Yeah. Do I?
So because it's straight there,
At this point I thought I'd better check that the door actually still closed with the new guide fitted in place, because we weren't sure whether we'd pulled that door out enough, but to have the guide on, whether the guide would allow the metal bit to sit in or whether it would clash. Here I'm just trying to find something to safely pry against, to try and push that metal bit back in as far as possible inside the door so we can get the contacts back on.
Perfect.
I was hoping at this point that it would be possible to go from the inside of the door, however I then realised I couldn't even access it from inside.
Definitely not on it.
I then in my head decided that at this point, when life gives you lemons, get a bigger hammer. To a lot of people that will be watching this video, of course this is not the proper way to be doing it. However, on this fleet van we need it on the road, so push came to shove and it became an emergency to get this door closing again. You see me get my torch just to double check that it's all closing nicely and sitting together, and I'm mainly in shock of how well the door has closed and the panel gaps in the door as well. So this is where we show you how well the door now closes.
Got a closer, how's the top looking? Still doesn't line up quite right there, but
Thank you all so much for watching this video. I know it's a bit different from usual, however I hope you still enjoyed it, because I'd like to say it was fun to make but it wasn't. But yeah, if you enjoyed it please like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.